My name is Felicia Skeldon. I'm a mother of 5 beautiful daughters. I've been married to Eric Skeldon for 8 years, and I would love to share my story. When I was first born, my biological father left my mom, so I didn't grow up with a dad, and my mom was only 19 herself, so she was a baby raising a baby. And when I was 4, I got molested by my uncle, and then went through a lot of child abuse from men that she had married that weren't meant for her. And so I felt blamed for the abuse that was happening, and things that should never happen to a child. You develop this mentality that everything you do is wrong, and then you attach yourself to the things that are helping you get through your wounds, which is what the world gives you, identity through porn or homosexuality. My introduction to homosexuality was a girl who moved in with us. My mom had taken her in, and she was lesbian and a go-go dancer at like this trance club. And I was so intrigued by it because I didn't see anyone else like being that unique and out there, and I wanted that. So I attached myself to that identity. So I took on manly personalities and needing to dominate my partners so that I could feel safe. And that's what caused me to keep going in that direction, because I didn't feel safe as a little girl. So my mom was going through addiction, and I got taken away by CPS and had to live with my grandma. And living there, I started rebelling, and she kicked me out. I had to move back in with my mom, and all I could do was go to AA meetings with her. And I saw people standing up talking about how only a higher power could save them from their addiction. And I had like this epiphany. It was like this veil was lifted from my face, and I saw in that moment that God was speaking directly to me. He met me when I was so little, and I didn't know why I was drawn to pornography or, being sexually appealing to men. And then feeling like I needed to be like a man so that I didn't get hurt in relationships. And, dating both sexes and trying to control the feminine side versus the masculine side. And like, he still loved me even in the midst of that, and wanted to change me through his love and show me who I was always made to be, Later on, I realized he had taken me to like the desert to speak to me, and there's a scripture in Hosea that says that he'll lead you in the desert and he'll speak to her gently. And that was an encounter for me. And I ended up discovering this world full of God, and I could see him everywhere. And then I went to church with her, and I started getting involved with the youth ministry there. And that was when I met Eric's mom, and just discovered God's love through her. And his mom has a similar testimony, and so she really helped me walk through porn addiction, drug addiction, and like how to let go of all of that to live a life with God. I went to this house church where this pastor prophesied over me and said that my husband was going to be buttoned up nice and neat, in a suit. And I realized that I've always been into that, like this man that's going to come rescue me, and like this soldier, like watching Pride and Prejudice. And I guess the wounded part of me didn't want to discover that I was into, men, but God just came and healed that part of me. And I discovered that was what I was always meant for. And lo and behold, my husband comes into the picture after I met his mom in youth ministry. And he was actually going to the Army. And we got married outside of his base. And he was buttoned up nice and neat the way that my pastor had spoken. And so God just used that to heal those inner childlike wounds that I had carried for so long. And just totally restored my life. And now my husband and I have 5 beautiful girls, and I get to discover what it's like to be a little girl again, in all the right ways, and watch Eric father them and encounter God in ways that I didn't get to through a father figure, So that's my story. The goal is to allow him to love you so that you can then love yourself. And in that place, you will discover who he always created you to be.